Epic Games hosted its annual State of Unreal keynote yesterday, and they provided some updates on a few things, primarily like the Fortnite update, Unreal Engine, and the Epic Game Store update. And obviously we saw some partners, including Disney, CD Projekt as well. So actually, this was really kind of uneventful to some degree, like as far as these things go, but like they had AI tools for UEFN, which were quite cool, which I think we'll come online and see what people do with that. They gave an update on the Epic Store. You know, they paid like $2.1 billion to devs and publishers, and UEFN has generated like $722 million for third-party creators. And just to be clear, UEFN is a fucking train wreck disaster right now. Like there's no mincing words on this. This is not working, and people are very frustrated. So like all the PR and fluff around this is complete bullshit.
So the best thing on UEFN is that they've given access to all the data so we can see it clearly. You can watch, you can see it, especially even for the first party. You can see Fortnite's retention right now. You can see Fortnite's base mode CCU versus UEFN.
Yeah. So anyway, so I don't want to actually broadcast the fact that this has been successful. 722 million of shit, right? But the coolest thing and the best thing about this whole fucking thing was this Witcher 4 demo, right? Unbelievably beautiful. Like in terms of like what they showed that was possible with the engine. Now, of course, all the fans remember Cyberpunk and their false flags about how well that thing was going to look and perform. And so people are calling foul on this demo. But they were first to admit that this is a tech demo. This is not gameplay. This is not the way the game and the game is going to be. This is literally a tech demo that they do all the time to showcase the new technologies that are on Unreal. And it was actually unbelievable. Like absolutely unbelievable. It always is. Like they do a really good job of these tech demos. So that was kind of the biggest thing that came out of it that people are talking about.
Well, one is like this Unreal 5.6 bundles all of this together that you just said. There's also the metahuman creation tools, which is like this realistic NPCs that you can do in the large scale open worlds. The AI tools that were cool, they help you write the verse code in UEFN, which is great for more non-gaming folk to, you know, help figure out verse, or even if you're transitioning over. So I thought some of this Epic Game Store stuff was cool, Chris. I wanted to get your thoughts. So it is going to include preloading. So you can, that's coming in September. You can do game gifting for the holiday season, self-publishing tools for Android and iOS also in Q3. The revenue share model is updated to 0% for the first million in revenue and 12%. Web shops coming in July. And then I thought this was kind of interesting, especially given the Apple's upcoming announcement around whatever the Game Center thing is. So Epic has revamped social features that will connect its PC and mobile players with game-independent voice chat, text chat parties, along with robust game invites for third-party games. Seemed kind of interesting. Anything in here sound good to you?
This has come up a lot, like whether or not a third-party store can actually be successful from the consumer perspective. And so like to the extent that they do cool things for discovery and user acquisition, like I think that would be really interesting. The question is, are consumers really going to adopt third-party stores no matter what, right? So there was some announcement that they did 44 million downloads of the store. Again, that's a total vanity metric, right? Because it's not a question of actually downloading the store and using it for a launcher for fucking Fortnite. It's a question of how many people are engaged with the store to actually purchase other shit, right? And so it's like, I just have my doubts that consumers are going to be moving to something like this on Apple or Google devices because the store is so integrated and their usage patterns are so set that I don't know. It's going to be hard.
And what's the differentiated offering here? Like, what are they offering that's going to be different than the App Store?
Well, what I liked was the last bullet, the revamped social features, because that is starting to be something that players are going to care about. And I think that's going in the right direction. So, and this gifting idea. I can give something. Okay. Like, listen, they are trying, they're going in the right direction. They are giving players things that are differentiated from the other stores. It is unclear if these will actually move the needle, to your point, but isn't this the right thing to be thinking about and doing if you are going to try to compete? Question mark.
Yeah. So my problem is I want them to be successful because I want Apple to eat it every day. I think they should die. I hope they generate no more revenue from the App Store. I want them to be successful, but from a consumer perspective, I just think it's going to be very, very challenging to justify it. Like I remember Origin was like really hot. And they were spending a gajillion dollars. I'm not exaggerating. Hundreds of millions of dollars they were spending on building out the Origin platform. And it became a launcher for Battlefield, right? That's what it became. And so like, if you looked at the social features they had, you could argue that it was actually in some ways superior to other platforms, not Steam necessarily, but others. They had like 0.5 friends per customer, right? Like no one was using it for the social features that they were creating. So they were spending all this money to try to build it out, but it wasn't getting any traction because that's not what people do, right? That's not what consumers do. They don't want another social platform, right? They have their social platforms. They have their game launchers. And so it's like, it's just really hard to convince them. And I think actually mobile may be harder than PC, like in that way.
Absolutely.
It is.
PC
It
console
is.
is a squad-based ecosystem, right? Like Elden Ring Night Rain is successful because I play with my friends, right?
Yeah.
But on mobile, I'm not going to like, oh my God.
I don't care.
We got to get on and play King Shot together.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a new game that's coming to this new store. No.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like my 65-year-old grandma is not going to like hang out with her buddies online, on Game Center, right? Or fucking go to the store and start chit-chatting about Bridge the night before.
They will. Like in casual games, there are end games with guilds.
Yes.
But then that is an end game thing, right? They have started off as a solo player and eventually transitioned to that solo play. And they're not going to want to use another app to do that. Game developers are going to want to keep that in their own ecosystem.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure that would be the immediate target audience for EGS, but anyway, let's keep going. So Star Wars Jedi Director is now on a D&D video game.
All right. So other news was that this Star Wars Jedi Director guy spun out his own company to make a D&D style video game, which I think is super cool because I think D&D has been completely underutilized as a license and IP for what it's known for is RPGs. They had the MMO ages ago that did not do well. I think they tried to tie it too closely to the D&D rule set. But anyway, so we're going to get more details on this in the Summerfest Game Fest on June 9th. But this seems really exciting because a game like Jedi Survivor merged with D&D could be very, 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 very cool and something I would get excited about. So anyway.
But Baldur's Gate 3 was massive, right? Which leaned into the rule set and was a turn-based RPG, which definitely tapped in the real D&D audience, right? But this is an action adventure game. So you're saying like, hey, this audience actually wants to take that. Like they're in love with the stories, the IP. They want to be able to play that in a action combat, not a turn-based D&D.
I hear the notes of cynicism in your voice there, Mr.
There's an underlying concern there. Yes. There's an underlying concern.
I'm just suggesting that I am excited about it right now, whether it's successful or not, we'll see. But like, at least this is the guy who has done it well for Star Wars.
Totally
Maybe
agree.
he could do it well for D&D. That's why I put this.
You want more action adventure games. Yep, absolutely.
In the fantasy, yes. Action adventure fantasy, yes.
In D&D, yes.
Yes.
I just want like the D&D quiz that helps me understand, am I chaotic good or like what's my D&D personality? That's the game that I want.